The features and the main problems that we are facing in Aconcagua, they are also faced in other high summits in the Andes region, like in Chimborazo, Huascarán, as it was mentioned yesterday, and in Nevado Sajama, Pisces in northern Argentina, and Fitzroy in Patagonia. Well, Aconcagua is located in the central Andes. It has a total cover of 70,000 hectares. I don't know how much is that in acres. And actually, there are two main routes. There is Orcones Valley and Vacas Valley. Orcones has a total distance of 40 kilometers, and Vacas Valley has a total distance of 70 kilometers. There are two main base camps, Plaza de Mulas, that is at 4,300 meters, and then Plaza Argentina, that is at 4,200 meters, and then you have also low-altitude campsites with high-intensive use, like Confluencia, that is at 3,200 meters, and Casa de Piedra, Pampa de Leñas in Vacas Valley. And most of the use is in the Orcones Valley. 80% of the people go through this valley. Well, as we know that there were a lot of people here that they have implemented different technologies for human waste, we thought that it was important to keep some of the environmental features of our area. We are located in the arid Andes, and there is a big thermal amplitude in our area, and most of the precipitation is in winter, and we have low precipitations, less than 500 millimeters, and Aconcagua, as you know, is the highest peak of America. The climate is very cold and dry, and we have freezing days all year round. We have very strong winds. We have lots of mountain rivers as well as glacial lakes, and we have very thin soils, and only in the lower areas, and we only have rich soils in the meadows that they are mainly located in the low altitude areas below 3,500 meters. Well, we have a meteorological station in Orcones Lake that is located at 2,800 meters. And as you can see in this chart, the temperatures are below zero during the winter season, and none of the temperatures go above 20 degrees. For example, here in this other chart, we can see the weather forecast for this time of the year in the high altitude campsites, and it's quite low in some areas, below 30 degrees. And you can have these temperatures also in summer in the high altitude campsites. So it's a big limitation when we try to manage human waste. Well, Aconcagua, as most of the peaks we have seen during these 2 days, have received a lot of increase the last couple of years, especially from the 2000. It has a 10% increase annual. Actually, there are more than 8,000 people going to the park, and mostly the use is concentrated during summer season, and within summer season is concentrated mainly in December and January. So, and it's concentrated, as we have seen in the map, only in 2 routes and in some campsites. Well, the other thing is, as many of these peaks, you need a long acclimatization process. Most of the expeditions are between 15 to 20 days. So the climbers, although there are 5,000, if you calculate the users' days, it's much more. It's almost 70,000 overnight uses, as well as for trekkers. And one other issue that is very important for us, it's mules. Mules are the main transportation system to carry mountain equipment to the mountains. And some of the mules, especially in Vacas Valley, that has 70 kilometers long, they have to stay 3 days in the park, and they stay overnight in alpine meadows, which are very fragile ecosystem, and all the springs and creeks where we take water are from there. So for us, that's another big issue, animal waste. Regarding the human waste, we can divide the park in 4 main zones. In the front country areas, which is the roadhead of the park, Orcones, that is at 2,400 meters, where we use flush toilets, but Seba will talk more about that. And also where there is all the logistics and operation things. The visitor center is located there, and there is a helicopter that runs during summer season for human waste evacuation and for logistical purposes. Then at 3,000 meters, we have flush toilets, but with a different type of technology. And then in high altitude areas, in base camps, we carry the waste down, and in the high altitude campsites, we are using pack-out systems. This has changed. This was started in 2005. So before that, we used old systems like pit latrines. Then, okay, if we start doing this calculation, overnight uses plus the type of technology we are using, we can do some calculations of how much sewage liters we are producing in each of these areas to try to see how important is this problem and how to manage the human waste. Well, in Orcones and Confluencia, the numbers are much higher because we are using flush toilets. But if you see in Plaza de Mulas and Plaza Argentina that are at 4,200 meters, we are producing around 22,000 kilos of human waste that are taken out by helicopter, and that's a high cost.
Well, in the park we have 4 systems of bathroom, of toilets. The first one in the front country, it's a flush toilet, a normal system with a septic tank and a leaching field. That has 2 big problems. One is that all the water that we use, we are taking from an alpine meadow, and of course, all the water that we are using is leaching in another alpine meadow. So we are producing pollution in that ecosystem that is just 2% of the vegetation of the park and has a really high biodiversity in the park. Well, in low altitude toilet, we have a similar system, but the leaching field changed for the pit system. And here, well, in Confluencia, we have 7 companies with 1 toilet for human waste and a shower, and the kitchen connected to the same septic tank. And with that, we have problem because all the chemical liquids go to the pit, and that affect the absorption of the pit. And sometimes, maybe in one season, we have to change the pit and close the old one, and well, all still there. Also, we have problem with the septic tanks because the low temperature doesn't allow composting or decompose. So they fill, and we have to put another septic tank, but we cannot take the old one because it's a 1,000 liters tank, the plastic ones, the fiberglass one. So we cannot carry with the helicopter, and we have not systems, so, well, they are there. Yes. And, well, another problem here is that we have not research done in leaks evasion and pollution of underground water and rivers. So that we have a issue there. Well, the toilet in the campsite, as Tina told us, it's different. We say dry toilets. We have these containers, that barrels, with some holes in the bottom, so it can release the urine. So with that we can eliminate weight and take with the helicopter. We put the container into the soil, and here in the first image we can see like a cabin, like to give a shelter area to the people who go to the bathroom. And once that the container is filled up to 2/3 parts, we take by hand from the hole the container. We put a new one. Well, that continue working, and then we, depending on the weight, generally 150 kilo, 180 kilos. We join 2 containers or 3, and we take from the campsite, the base camp, to an historic place near the road, and then with a truck from the town, we put all the containers to landfill. So, well, that is. With these toilets, as Tina said, well, before 2002, we didn't have a helicopter. So we used to have a pit latrine, and that continued there in the glacier. And we have the helicopter. We use the helicopter to take out the containers. The cost of the helicopter is approximately $25,000. That, well, it's a high cost for the park, but if we compare with another activities that the helicopter do, it's not too high. Another problem with this, or a big concern that we have with this system, is that this percolation of the urine through the human waste into the permafrost is affecting the glacial lakes. And we have some studies done that shows that in lakes near the campsite, we can find nitrogen, and in lakes that are far away, we don't have nitrogen. And this nitrogen increased during the high season. For high altitude campsite, we use something similar to what Roger was telling us in Denali. We use pack-out system. We have a problem that is, we have 5 campsites, high altitude campsites, and all the people there, we can have maybe 200 people in one day in one campsite, and just 2 park rangers for the 5 campsites. So we're still having the problem that some people don't use the system and still living, well, the human waste. And for example, we can see that guy that he's going to the bathroom, and maybe his partner are waiting for him with the tea from the same place. So well, we have not zonation in the campsites. We are working on that. And one thing that works really good was that we work with the management plan in some workshop with the guides, asking them for help with these issues, and that it's really good. At least all the people that go with guides, they use this system and they respect really well the rules. But we're still having problem with people that, well, go alone. And in the high altitude campsite, we are using also tents to give to the people shelter areas to go to the bathroom, because if not, they have always the excuse that the wind, the cold, the different things, and they still leaving the things there. So that's another issue. And one private company in Plaza de Mulas campsite, they designed a system to disintegrate the human waste, but because the odor, because bad maintenance, that doesn't work, and well, that doesn't. They are not doing more that, but it's a really good idea to have less weight and can spend less money in the helicopter.
Like like there is a lot of presence of total coliforms and Escherichia coli, and naturally our soils have very little nitrogen, so there is a big nutrient enrichment from Faecas mater and urine scalds, also parasite diseases and weeds invasion. So for us it's another problem, and then we wanted to know what issues are doing other parks regarding animal waste as well, but that's it.